Earnestly Podcast.
Welcome to the Earnestly Speaking Podcast.
Whoa.
This is your guest host.
Wow, this is the first time on my show in 8 years that somebody else has brought in the intro to the show.
Well, if anybody else was going to do it, it should have been me. Right?
Well, I mean, you're the one that does once a year, so I mean, you know, less than 10 podcasts in 8 years out of the show. I mean, what the hell?
So you want to throw that in my face now?
No, but you're trying to...
After I've agreed?
You're trying to claim boss mode right now on my show.
I have agreed.
You have agreed?
To do our own podcast.
Yeah. We're going to announce at the end of the show, though?
We're announcing it now. Because you want to throw it in my face. You want to throw in my face that
first off, you're already fired up because we just actually, and now this was obviously going to drop when you hear it, but we just did a 2-part podcast with our good friends, Tokyo James and his wife, and wow, we had a great time talking about marriage and stuff like that. I'll promote the show once it comes out, but this is the first time I actually being a guest on the podcast ever.
Yeah.
That's not mine, of course.
Yes.
And
hi, for those who don't know, I am Ernest's wife, Lauren.
Yeah, they'll read that in the description, of course.
Well, I'm introducing myself.
No, I'm okay with that. I'm just saying that will be in the description, among other things we'll talk about on the show today. Anyway, so what's talk about? Actually, yeah, someone talk about the topic.
Well, we were letting these fine folks know that we are starting our own podcast called That's So Christian.
That's correct.
It's going to be our couples podcast.
Yeah, you and I together. Occasional guests, mostly us though, but occasional guests.
Yes, very topic centric. We have our lovely friends, Mike the Squid.
Yes.
And his lovely and wonderful wife, Carolyn.
One of your best friends, of course.
Yes. Who came up with the name for our podcast.
Actually, he did, but she gets credit because she's the boss of the house.
She gets credit because she's awesome.
That's right.
Anyway.
Yeah, Mike, you heard that? We know who runs
Sorry,
shit
Mike,
in your house.
she's your other half,
Calm
so we
your
give
ass
her
out,
credit
dog.
too.
No, I'm joking. But yeah, we're launching that July 4th, which is kind of funny because July 4th actually is our anniversary, our dating anniversary.
Which will be 13 years.
We're lame. We still celebrate that.
Well, because to us, it's the mark of our, the length of time that we've actually been together. Because from the get-go, we've been committed to this.
Yeah, pretty much.
So
it's a little sappy, of course.
It'll be 13 years.
Yep, July 4th.
July 4th. We'll have been married for 8 years.
Yeah.
Still going strong.
Yeah, 13 years. You made an honest man to me. You know. Yeah.
Not to get all sappy or anything.
Yeah, I know. That's all sappy. Okay, so July, look out for that. Well, obviously on this show, obviously when I do the podcast, I'll promote it. Obviously once it comes out. But July 4th, you'll see. Hopefully, we'll probably end up having the podcast catcher of choice, or the RSS feed created within the next couple of days. So hopefully have like a little pilot. Little intro thing coming up in the next couple of days, and July 4th will be our first episode. That is the target date for our release for the podcast. Okay, so today we did something pretty significant, actually, within our household. And I really want to talk about it on the show. I might talk about it a little bit more on the next whole pod in a couple of days, about my reaction to it, but I want to talk about from our perspective here.
Okay.
We actually, you want to say it? Want me to say it?
We deactivated our Facebooks.
It's not a big deal for you necessarily, because you've been, first of all, you're hardly around there as anyway.
No, I'm on there. I just don't post a lot.
You don't want to say shit.
I deactivated it because I was spending so much time on there. So I don't post, but I scroll through, and it was very distracting and time consuming.
It's a bigger deal for me, definitely, because I'm a social media whore. Let's be real honest with you. Now I did not deactivate my Twitter or my Instagram because I am not on there as much in comparison to Facebook, I'm on there, but it's not as big a time suck for me as Facebook is. I have been sort of teasing this for a little while now about doing this because, as you know, and I think on the podcast I've done in the last couple of weeks, I've said that I've been embracing this sort of minimalistic lifestyle, decluttering, simplification of my life, and that doesn't only include physical stuff. To me, it also includes even digital, which is a big part of my life also too. I'm big into media. Not only do I curate media, I also intake media. So for me to simplify my life, I look at things like I've done things about I listen to a lot of podcasts. I've subscribed to a lot of podcasts. I recently had to unsubscribe on the podcast. I felt that was just too much, commitment to. And now I'm looking at social media, and honestly, Facebook is the one site I go on that's, multiple times a day. And it's ridiculous. And I just recently decided to, hey, I want to simplify my life. I care about my mental health. And I don't know, I just felt like at this point right now, it's more of a burden to have than it is of a blessing. So that's why I came to the decision today to deactivate it. And that's why it's funny, I was thinking about it before. You mentioned it to me in a text message 2 days ago. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, that's pretty cool. And I said, well, if you're going to do it, then why don't we just go together as a couple and just go in and just delete it. Or deactivate it, not delete. Because I might go back. We'll see what happens.
And so we did. And
I'm kind of proud of myself because in the past I've done some of things like this, to lessen the burden. So 2 years ago, when I thought about doing this, I decided, you know what, rather than deactivate it, because I know I need it for the media stuff, and I need it for promotions and my writings, all that, I decided to delete the app off my phone. That way, if I wanted to go on Facebook, I had to force myself to go to the browser. Go on the Safari browser on my iPhone, looking up the name, log in, blah, blah, blah. It created more work. It took more work to get in there. And it worked for a little while, but then eventually the itch came back. I had the access to do it. And at some point, it's like, you know what? Bring back the app. And then before you know it, I'm back to being obsessed again. I knew for me to really make the improvements, I had to take the action to just do this for myself and my mental health. And I'm really proud of myself, to be honest with you. It's just something, it doesn't sound like a big deal because people do this all the time. But for me, it's a big deal because it's something I prioritized this for years, and you know this.
Well, it's great too that I did it with you because you have somebody to be accountable.
Yeah.
To. But yeah, it's definitely something that kind of distracts you from reality. And when you're a married couple, when you're parents, when you're when you really have to focus on your own reality. Not having that distraction is a definite positive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, some people will probably say, well, what about your Instagram or your Twitter? Well, to me, Twitter isn't as big a time suck for me as Facebook. I go there maybe twice a day. And I certainly don't spend like X amount of hours on there. I'll see anybody hit me up with a DM or something. Instagram is basically pictures. It doesn't really demand the commitment that Facebook does.
Right.
Facebook, to me, demands a certain amount of commitment, to really grab it, I guess, if you will. And I'm just not at a point right now mentally where I want to do that anymore. That's why I decided to do this. I'll tell you, it's going to sound really stupid. I did this probably, 4 hours ago?
Yeah.
I feel good. I feel like a part of me has been secure now. A part of me I feel like a part of me has been, I don't know. I feel like I got a whole part of my life now, again.
Okay.
That's weird. I don't know. It's just weird.
Well, we'll see how you feel tomorrow morning.
So I'm on my phone, like, see on Facebook what's going on. Oh wait, it's not there anymore. Oh wait, the whole thing's down. No, it's something I think I need to do. come my friends and say, well, what about your podcast? Is it impact your numbers? I go, well, right now, my mental health means more than clicks. So, whatever. It is what it is.
Well, I mean, you could always start up a media page.
Yeah, that's the other thing also, too. The media page I had also is connected to my Facebook. Is gone, too. I may have to create probably have to create a group page, maybe something different than what I had before. I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I mean, right now it's temporary. It may be permanent going forward. We'll see how I feel. I know Mark Francois, who comes on this podcast very often, he came on the show and said he did this podcast. His Facebook, and then later on has said that he's still okay with it. He loves it. He feels like his life has been much more, he's flourishing, should I say, because of it, he thinks, mentally. Good. So, I'm trying to figure out my balance right now.
Definitely got to take care of yourself first.
I agree. And this is kind of part of my minimalism. Here we go again. Minimalism journey I'm going through right now. Decluttering and simplification and all that. Which I've started last couple of weeks. I'm still going through that. Have I freaked you out with this yet?
No.
I'm waiting for you to say.
There's not much you can do to freak me out.
I'm waiting for you to say, "Wow," because I thought you'd be a little more surprised that I did the Facebook deactivation, because you know how obsessed I am with Facebook.
Well, I'm surprised, but I'm not completely and utterly shocked. I'm not.
The fact I committed to doing this, I'm saying. You know.
I don't know. I mean, we've been together 13 years.
But again, the fact that I actually went through the process, went to my settings, literally took down my Facebook page. I've never done this before. This is new territory for me. For the first time in
I've never done it either.
13 years. Whatever. How long it's been having a page? 12 years.
When we were dating, when we first started dating, it was MySpace.
Yeah.
Facebook wasn't there yet.
Was I in top 8? Was I?
Of course.
I think you're number 2 in my top 8. Weren't you number 2? Behind us, the band? The band was still my number 1 priority.
I don't even remember. I think I blocked that part of everything out.
Yeah. No. No.
I don't really want to remember MySpace.
Do you miss MySpace?
No.
Really?
Not even in the
you know it still exists, right?
Yes.
The last time I checked, I believe Justin Timberlake actually bought MySpace. And they were making it into a music page.
Okay.
It flopped.
Of course.
Because no one cares. No one's going there anymore.
Because it's MySpace.
I kind of miss those days only because back in the day when I was single and everybody would tell you, oh, there's a party going on in this place after shows, whatnot. This is back when I was in a band, of course, so. I
mean, MySpace was cool for what it was at the time, but it was...
So high school.
Yeah. It was dramatic, too. It was like, if you're not in this person's top 8, you're not their real friend.
Holy shit, there was so many fights. I mean, people in their 20s, yeah. People my age, hey, dude, why aren't you in my top 8? Why am I not in the top 8? Thank God my parents were on there yet. If my parents were on there, oh my God, my mom, I swear to you, my mother would have actually asked me, why am I not she's not in my top 8? She made me fall with you, saying why you ahead of her. She's probably like, you ain't married yet.
Oh my gosh.
You ain't married yet. I'm your mama.
Anyway,
no. But no. Yeah, so this minimalism thing, the Facebook thing ties into the minimalism thing. I'm really excited about it. I've started to breathe. I'm breathing a little more. There's a lot more to go. It's going to go. It's going to impact my finances. It's going to impact the way I see life. It's going to impact the amount of stuff I listen to, the amount of media intake, the amount of media I actually curate to. Because I know, like I said, I'm adding not just the show we're doing. I just added, which we'll be releasing next week, a wrestling podcast. But that could all be streamlined properly if done correctly, of course. So.
I mean, I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that because it's something that I'm really committed to. Like, I told folks on the podcast that one of the things, the start of this was the whole idea of being financially free, debt free. I mean, I'm not saying I'm about debt, of course, but just saying I want to be able to be in a position where, like, I'm turning 40 next year, and I'm becoming obsessed. Yeah, you married an old man. No, I get to a point now where I find myself become more frugal as I got older.
Right.
I got moments I could, I want to buy this and that, but it was way worse when we first started dating.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, to be where I'm at now versus 2006, it's night and day.
Yeah. For sure.
So, yeah. So, I'm all about minimalism. There we go again, the fucking word. Minimalism. Better. Okay. TV binges. We recently finished watching Chernobyl. Miniseries on HBO. Chernobyl. There we go again with that. Chernobyl. You think I get a... Dude, what's wrong with me? Subwoofer? Is it subwoofer or subwoofer?
Subwoofer.
Is it, what's the other word I have?
Sandwich.
Oh, I used to say a sandwich. I used to say sandwich.
And,
is another one I had?
You used to mix up beer and bear and fear and fair.
Yeah, it's called beer, bear, and bear.
Yeah, and fear, fair, and fair.
I'm such a weirdo.
It's
such
cute.
a weird. It's cute. Really. Okay, whatever.
I find it endearing.
Okay. So we Chernobyl, right? Right. We finished Chernobyl on HBO last week.
Excellent show.
Five-part miniseries. By the way, I said documentary on the last podcast. It's not documentary, it's a miniseries. Love it. Probably one of the best things HBO's put out in quite a while.
Very well done, very well written.
Absolutely. We finished Dead to Me on Netflix.
Also another
all
good
in one day. By the way, you owe me dinner for that because that's a show that you said I would not like, and you lose.
Okay.
And what else we watched recently? Well, I started Big Little Lies. You did not want to watch that.
I will not be watching that now.
Apparently, you have a problem watching rich white women in their drama that turn to murder. Apparently, that bothers you, right?
Yes.
Okay. You have some shows you started recently. You tried Black Mirror, didn't like it, right?
I tried the first season of Black Mirror, which is 3 episodes. 2 out of the 3 I did not like. I liked one of them. There are 2 more episodes that I have been encouraged to watch, which I will be doing so soon. I finished season 3 of Jessica Jones.
How was that? Because I watched season 1. I started 2 and didn't enjoy it, so I just paused
2
it.
2 was weird.
2, I sideboard 2.
Okay, 2 was probably the worst. The 3rd season was not that bad. It was very interesting. Things that you did not expect. The ending kind of threw me for a loop, but I mean, season 1 is still the best, but if I had to rank them, I'd say season 1, then season 3, then season 2. But I liked it. I mean, that's the end of it. They canceled it. They canceled all the Netflix Marvel stuff.
But yeah, which, by the way, quote unquote, it's going to Disney Plus.
I don't know if they're actually going to continue.
I'm gonna guess it.
But yeah, I happen to like it. And then I just started a show called
American Gods?
American Gods, which is on Starz.
You claim that I won't like it.
Yeah, you won't. The more I watch it, the more I know it's not your
Do you like
show.
it?
I like it, and in the first 25 minutes of it, I thought, okay, this is a show, because there's one particular character that I think you would like, but that's not really enough to kind of bring the whole show together for you.
You act like you know me. What you do? What you do?
No, the show gets kind of weird. Because it's from what I understand it to be so far, I'm not very far into it at all by any means. I'm somewhere in the second episode of it. But it seems to be, the old gods versus the new gods, the American gods being, things like technology and the digital age and all that kind of stuff. And the old gods kind of being like the Norse mythology kind of things. And there's like a war that's supposed to happen between them or something like that, something along those lines. So it gets kind of weird, and it's definitely a show that I don't think you'd be rather fond of.
Well, I think right at this point right now, like where I'm at with TV right now, honestly, like there's a lot of shows I want to watch. I want to start. I want to start Billions. I want to start Succession. I just started Veep, actually. I actually restarted Veep because I watched the first season a couple of years ago. Liked it, just couldn't finish it. So now I'm back to watching it again from the beginning because it's been a couple of years. I want to make sure I remember it. But there's a lot of shows that you and I started, for example, that I want to finish.
AKA The Sopranos.
The Sopranos, yes. People are going to come and say, what the fuck are you talking about? How have you not finished that show? My fault. I get it. This is the third go-round of this fucking thing, man. This is the third go-round.
And we still end up stopping at the same part every time.
I don't get it.
Somewhere in the second season, we always stop.
And for the record, I love the show. I know I haven't finished it yet, but I love the show.
Yeah.
So maybe we should just do that show then, just the way we've been doing everything else. Do that show and just get out of the way. Of course, all of my buddies on Twitter give me shit about The Wire, not finishing The Wire.
Well, that one I
got hung dry by a couple people, of my friends, about that on Twitter a couple weeks ago. Yeah, D. Will, I'm talking to you. Yeah, but I gotta finish Ballers. That's my show, not yours, with The Rock. I gotta finish.
I love how we have
Power.
our shows and then your shows and my shows.
Yeah, well, I mean, do you have your own shows? I have my own shows.
I just think it's funny.
Well, there's certain shows you don't like, and certain shows I like. There's nothing wrong with that.
But you have a lot that I either started with you or I didn't even want to watch, and you still haven't finished them.
Well, personally, I really want to finish The Sopranos. So if you ask me right now which show you want to start right now and just get out of the way and finish it, The Sopranos. Before anything else.
Okay.
And the cat even agrees. So, alright, this is pretty much a short and easy pod, I guess. I mean, you want to anything else to talk about before we go? Anything else you want to get in there? I mean, we announced a new podcast that's going to be launching July 4th. At least that's the plan.
That's the plan.
We're off Facebook right now. How long, we'll see. I don't know. I think that's it. I mean, we're in the summertime right now. NBA season's over.
I think we'll get to most of our stuff in our own podcast.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the podcast. By the way, again, we started the show. I really enjoyed the conversation we had on the other podcast, American Conversation with our friend Big TJ and his wife. Great. It was great. A lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun, for sure.
It's great. A lot of fun. So, I guess we're done. I would say follow you on Twitter, but you don't have a Twitter.
I do not, no.
So, just follow me.
I do not tweet.
Yeah, you want to get to my wife, you gotta get through me. You gotta talk to me. Because she don't tweet.
No.
She has an Instagram, though, but she doesn't really promote.
No.
Should I tell them what it is? No?
No, because it's private.
It is private?
Yeah.
It is private. Yeah, that's right. I can't even share pictures that you have on there of the kids.
Exactly.
So stupid. I hate that. Why do you do that for?
Because I'm very protective of my family.
I am too, but I should be allowed to decide.
I don't trust the internet.
Well, Ralph. Ralph breaks the internet.
Now we're gonna.
Oh, by the way, you need to read my Toy Story piece I wrote yesterday too. I haven't seen any Toy Story. I own the first 3 Toy Stories, but I haven't actually watched it.
No, we own the first 2.
First 2. Well, technically, it's on Stars, so I own it. I pay for it. So
and the 4th one's out in theaters. I don't understand how you haven't seen them.
Because I said in my blog, I said there are 3 things. There are 3 things I gave a shit about in 1995 as a 15-year-old. Sports Center, chicks. Is that cool to say though? Chicks? That's kind of sexist, right?
We prefer women.
Well, I mean, I was 15. I can't say women. Okay. Sports Center, hot woman, and pizza. Better?
You still have been a father for 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand how you haven't watched Toy Story.
Anyway, we're done.